Hi, my name is Joya. Welcome to my YouTube channel where I talk all things faith, family, and fitness. Today I will be talking about my fitness journey, or lack thereof at sometimes, or hyperfixation on my fitness journey of sometimes. So, if that's something that you're interested in, stay tuned. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. That's what the people told me to say, so that's what I'm gonna say. Like, comment, and subscribe right now. All right, thank you. We'll talk about where I started from. We'll talk about where I was at and what I thought to be my mountaintop of being in my fitness journey. And then we'll talk about my just current state and what I'm doing, what I'm not doing, what I'd like to do better, all encompassing. Okay, so we can start off around like 2020, 2021. That's where I really started to become a little bit conscious of my weight and how much I weighed and what that looked like, and just a little bit more aware of myself. And so during that time, of course, it was like after the pandemic and during the pandemic. And so we're all at home doing absolutely what? Nothing. So that came into doing a lot of eating, a lot of cooking, a lot of baking, a lot of just lounging around. And so did that for some months, right? And then things started to open back up. And at that point, I had just stopped. Okay. And so I'm not going to say that was my heaviest weight, but that was the start of the downfall. And so also around that time, I got married, and that was so blissful, so joyful. And so you can only imagine, like, all of the things, perfect storm to just be content where you're at, okay? Okay, so that happened. I gained, at that point, I was around like 170 in my weight. And so that was when I was kind of like, okay, this is, okay. That was the most that I've ever been in my life at that point, being at 170. And so that caused a little alarm in me. So fast forward to around, 2022, October 2022. I joined this awesome program with my mother-in-law, and that was really cool for the time being, because I knew, like, at that point I had some goals that I wanted to achieve as far as my weight, as far as like dropping down my weight. And at that point, October 2022, I was like 196 pounds. And I was like, oh my goodness. I ordered a scale, and I was like, I have never seen this number on a scale anymore. I didn't even know they went up that high, but that is where I was. And so that was like, okay, you were pushing 200 pounds, girl. And at that point, I was 22, 23, 22. I don't know. I was old, or 24. One of them ages, okay? And at that point, I was like, oh my goodness, I am 5'3". I'm pushing 200 pounds. Like, that's obesity, okay? So at that point, like I said, my mother-in-law introduced me to this awesome program, and it was a good time. It helped me drop some weight. And so this is where I started. I'll put a picture up. Like, this is where I started at with that program, and kind of like what I looked at almost 200 pounds. Crazy, completely crazy. And so I did that for a few months, and I had much success with that program. It was really good. I lost 12 pounds in like 4 weeks, and I had never lost that many pounds. And so eventually I got off the program just because I felt like I just felt too restricted. It was good for the time being, but I really wanted to kind of learn how to navigate the fitness journey myself. And so that was that. And so from there, I started running a little bit. So I ended the program in December, and that was amazing. Loved it. And so January comes around, February, and so I decide, okay, at the end of the year, at the end of 2023, I'm going to run a marathon. Well, a half marathon. So decided that, started running, and around March is when I took this picture, and that was like I want to say I was about 165 there. So there's like a huge difference. 165, 170 around that time. Okay. And so you can see a huge difference. A huge difference. Oh my goodness. I loved that time. And so that is my, I'll say, my mountaintop of what I thought it was. So did that, like I said, was training for a marathon like all last year. Kind of slowed down around like September with my training for the half marathon, just because I got COVID, and that was my first time having COVID ever. I went all those years without having COVID, and then I get it like in the middle of my marathon training. So stopped training because of COVID, and I never picked it back up super hard to where I once was before I got COVID, which is like the story of everybody's life. Once COVID came in, everything is all different. So September, COVID happened for me. And then after that, I would run after I recovered from COVID, run, but not really keeping up with like my eating or whatever. And I wasn't even like particularly, steady with my running. Like I would do it at least 2 times a week, but it was just cause I knew like at the end of the year in December, I'm going to be running this half marathon. So December comes around and I'm like, the longest run that I did at that point was like 8 miles. And at that point I was like, I don't know, you know. So I ran the half marathon, and I think the cutoff time was like 4 hours, and my time of running was like 3:50 something. So I'll put that up here. Yeah. All right. But at that point, I was just happy that I made it because I didn't really do too much training, intense training after September. So that made me really, really happy. And so I'm like, okay, I love punishment. So we signed up for another race, and this one was a 10K, the rodeo run, which was amazing. Loved it. It was a great experience. But at that time, I did a little bit faster, but it was still a slow time, still super, super slow. And so I was like, yeah, this sucks. I had time to be faster. Like, I don't just want to be out on this course or these courses just doing whatever. Right now, I weigh 180 pounds. 180 pounds. That is how much I weigh. I have gained so much weight back because I have not been just as diligent as I once was before. And yeah, currently I am working out like 3 times a week, but it's not intense, and I'm not doing like super hard cardio. I do go running just sporadically. I have not started an official running plan yet. That's where I'm at. The goal for the end of this year is to be back like 160 because, yeah, my ultimate goal in my weight, and I know it's not all about weight, but when you're heavier, everything becomes so much more difficult. And so, yeah, I don't want to be carrying around all of this extra baggage. So my next weight, well, my ultimate weight goal is to be around 140 or 130, fluctuating in between that because I know like my weight fluctuates when it comes to like my cycle time or when I'm not on my cycle. So that's where I'm at. That's where I was. And this is where I'm at currently. So my end goal, number 1, is to have my half marathon be under 3 hours this year. So I know that's attainable. And then by the end of the year to be around 160. So right now, like I said, I am weighing 180. And so the goal is to lose 20 pounds by the end of the year. And then we'll see where I'm at the end of the year. So that's my fitness journey. That's where I'm at. And I hope you guys help me, hold me accountable. And yeah, thank you for watching. And I pray that you just have a good day. So bye.